Hello and welcome to another webinar on ARCHLine.XP Live, the ArcV software. My name is Zoltán Toll. Over here is our resident architect, Mr. Ilyes Pap.
Hi everyone.
Today we are going to continue our journey into ARCHLine Live 2022, exploring some new features. Let's take a look at the project that we are going to work on.
In today's webinar, we are going to talk about the recessed lighting with the LED stripes. We will see several examples of how effectively you can do these and how beautifully they look like in the scenery. Also, we are going to talk about helper lights, especially in a very specific case in this specific model with the screen. We will show you a great trick and a great use of this so-called area light and how it affects the surrounding. We will also talk about animations. We will show you how to create a camera animation and how to bring in still images, not only the camera shots, but also the still images like titles and so on. We will also talk about PBR Materials, and we will cover the new account-based login system, which helps when you are willing to use your license around the globe in several computers, using several computers. So amongst these, we will also discuss a few tips and tricks. So let's see the next step.
So we have this enclosed space, there's no natural light and there's only a couple of spotlights. So it's an amazing opportunity to test some of the lighting effects. So what would you use in this situation?
Yeah, well, in this situation, I would like to add mood lights, those light strips, vertical and horizontal, to the stairs and behind those acoustic bars. And here's a good tip. If you would like to enhance the visibility in a pretty dark scene like this, just for the sake of, working, then you can at any time go back to the camera properties and change the brightness temporarily. So let me just increase it so I can easily find my way around this 3D space. I will just zoom into this area a little bit better because this is where I would like to place my light, and then later I will come back to change the brightness. So let's find the light source. The light sources are here in the navigator. You will find a lighting category. And here you will find those linear lights and the area lights. Those are the two that we will cover today. So the line light is something that you can just click and drag over to the area where you would like to start it. So it has a default setting of, I believe, something like 2 meters or something like that, one meter long. So the first thing I will change is its length. But as you can see now, it's just everything is just too bright. And it's simply because the fact given that I changed the brightness too bright, because previously it was too dark. So I will just change it back to around like this value. I'm fine with that, and I start working with the light source itself. So the light source's length should be something longer. I can easily dial it up, but if I don't like, and if it's not long enough, I can type any sort of other value. So let's go with, I don't know, 3.5. That's fine. I think this will work pretty well. Also, I can change its radius. I can change it from helper light to real light. And just to mention here, helper lights are all fine as long as you don't really want those light sources cast shadows. Now, you would say that casting shadows of a light source, it's just a natural phenomenon. You should enable that. But in case of real-time rendering, you should keep that in the box. You should keep it low as possible. So only those few selected light sources that you really would like to cast shadows, for those only you should turn on the real light option. So also here I will use it only as a helper light. Let me change the intensities. I think it's fine, and the temperature should be around 200 and 2500, so it's a nice warm tone. I also would like to change its position to push it back behind this acoustic panel. But I think that's fine. Okay, so let's just go back to the previous view. So this is also good. This is also very important that whenever you make changes, you should check all those changes from the views where you will see it. So you will be able to determine whether it's working or not. So let's see another example to this. So here's another area, this staircase, and I would like to place LED strips as a guide light or something in the dark. So I will just click and place this line light around someplace here. I think it should be around this area. Yeah, like that. And then, well, it's a bit off, so let me just place it somewhere else. Let me just open up the lighting settings and then just, move it somewhere else to the right. Yeah, I will save it later. So I will just, click here and move it to another location. Here, I really need to change the radius because it's just very, very thick. I will change it to like 20 millimeters.
Intensity too.
Length is fine. Intensity, well, this should be very, very low. It's only a guide light, so it should be only like 50. And the temperature should be around 1,200. Well, that's too much. 1,500. So it's a very nice, warm light source here. So let's just find the best position. And the same way, I'm actually placing other light sources. So let's see the result.
So here's the result once all the LED strips are placed down. We can take a look around in this mini cinema to see what we have here. Now you might notice this kind of lens flare, which is more abundant if you go closer to elements. Now in certain cases, it's not really practical to have it too much, so this is going to show us how to tone that down if you don't need it.
Yeah, well, this is actually a camera effect. So if you go to the camera effects, I have customized a few of those, but what we are talking about is actually the bloom. So if you dial down the bloom or the lens flare, both are responsible for these. So you can keep a little bit of the bloom. Bloom is this shiny aura of this light source. So you can keep a little bit of the bloom, but dial down the lens flare. So in that case, it won't be that strong. Well, in some case, it's very useful, but in some case, you can just simply turn it completely off. So about the light sources, we have placed all the light sources here in the background, also at the top, and as you can see, we have nice guide lights to the staircases. So I think we are done with these, so let's focus on another topic with the area light.
Let's see a very nice effect to make that silver screen a bit more lifelike. So here's an effect we can use.
Yeah, well, the material that we applied on this surface is an emissive material. So this gives this glowing effect, which I can reveal if I just go to the Edit Materials tool and I just click on the surface, and then you can see this is an emissive surface. You can change its brightness, you can do all sorts of changes in size and orientation, but this is not truly giving that effect that I want to see here, because it is not casting lights, it's not a light source. So I can combine either a still image like this, a still image material, or a video material, which I actually do have. I created a material for this purpose, which is in my videos library here in the materials library. I have imported a few of those videos from Pexels, which is a great source for free video sources and also images. So I have created this material here, and I can just click and drag and place it onto the surface. So this is what we will see. It's a nice slow video, and also the colors kind of match the surroundings. So it will be good for the purposes of this demonstration. And the way I have actually imported it, it's here. You can go here and you can just create a new item, and just as you are here in the video folder, you will create videos. You just select the video option, and then you can create a video material out of any sort of downloaded video. So now I have applied this on the surface, but I still need to have this sort of area light effect, which I actually will do using an area light. So I will go to the object library, and here you can find the lighting, and there's the area light. So click and drag it to the center bottom part here, and now you can see that nice shiny area. This is what we want.
But we don't want that lamp there. We want
obviously, we don't want to see this rectangle. So here's the trick. You just go to the Edit Lamps and Lights, you select the light source, and you actually can turn it on and off. So you won't see the source itself, you will only see the effect. This is great, this is what we want. Let me turn this back on a little bit while I'm editing this, so I can see when I set up the size, width and height. So I just use these. Let me just try to visually find the width, which I like. It does not have to be the same exact size, so it's not a problem if it's not perfectly matching. Also the height. Let me just find something that is close to the original height. That's fine. So now I'm shutting down the visibility of this light bulb mesh, and this is what we wanted.
Why is it not lighting up?
But yes, the problem is that now we have an intensity which worked pretty well with a smaller source, but now this same intensity is actually distributed on a larger surface. So now I need to increase the intensity, perhaps to the max, or even over that. I can type larger values as well here. So if I like this value, I think this should be a little bit somewhere around here, so we don't have that very strong effect, but we still have what we wanted. So I just turn this back off, and then now we have the effect that we wanted. And let's just check from different point of views. I think
nice
it works nice. So we can see that nice effect also on the PBR materials, which we will cover a little bit later. So I think, yeah, I like this effect. So we will keep that. So keep that in mind. You can use the light sources as helper lights also in a way like this. So you can actually place them around. You can just use them to brighten up the scene, and you can turn off the visibility of the source itself. So you will see only the effect, but not the light source. And you will have something spectacular like this.
We frequently talk about PBR materials. Now let's see what they mean in the context of this particular project.
Yeah, all around the surfaces we use quite a few PBR materials which were imported from an external source, which I will show you soon. I think the most obvious PBR material besides this textile here is this wooden surface here. Let me just close up a little bit. I mean, let me just zoom here. So you see those nice shining details, and also the scratches and everything else. I think also on the side we will see it very, very well. So those are things that you cannot otherwise visualize than other than using PBR materials. Now, what is a PBR material? If you select this surface here, it will reveal that it's actually not only having a texture for the visual layer, but also it has roughness with a texture, and also bump map with a texture. And also if you have ambient occlusion, specular, and everything else, you can use those. So how can you create or import a PBR material? So the sources, let's start with the source. Let me just switch to ambient CG, for example. Ambient CG is a great source. There are other sources as well, but for this specific purpose I actually used ambient CG, and I actually searched for wooden materials, wooden surfaces, carpet, and so on, and found those packages that they make available on their website in several different sizes. I used 2K, which is for the resolution, which was absolutely fine, and I have downloaded the package, which was a zip file. And the zip file contained these textures. So now this is how it looks like when you download a PBR package, unzip the content, and you will end up having a color, perhaps displacement, normal map for OpenGL, roughness, and so on. So this several images you will end up with, and all those images that the software supports can be imported easily by simply clicking on any of those plus icons. So when you go here and you say that you would like to create a new item, you would like to create a new material, then you import the color, you import, which will actually be the brightness as well, if it has emissive, if it has roughness, if it has bump map, any of those. The normal map and bump map is the same here. The software will understand the differences between the two. So if you only have normal map, that's fine. Just browse it for bump map. So all those you can just import, bring in. They will appear as they appear here. You can apply it on a surface, and when you applied the material on the surface, then you can just fine tune it. If you are not happy with the default that you end up with, for example, perhaps it's too reflective or something like this, then you can just dial that down and find the perfect setting for the surface. And then you can also rescale it. I actually did rescale. It's not 1-to-1. I actually stretched it a little bit to have that perfect effect that I wanted to see on the surface. So this is how easily you can get your hands on free sources online, PBR materials, which are beautiful, as you can see, also in real time. And then you can just cover all the surfaces with pretty carpet, plastic surfaces, wooden surfaces, also brick, and many different materials you can find online and use freely in your design, and end up with a pretty and beautiful visual like this, for example.
When you are working in live, your GPU is at full capacity, which is actually good because you can get the best out of your computer. But sometimes you need to save power. So here's a neat trick we implemented to sort of handle your resources.
Yeah, there is an automatic resource handler built in the software, which means especially when you work with on laptops, those are many times you will run your laptop on like external power, but if not, then the battery can run out of power pretty quickly if you use a GPU at maximum, because it uses a lot of those power resources, and also it spins
the ventilator is at full capacity, so it's very noisy, it takes a lot of power. So and the thing is that when you're designing, you're not always in the design software. You are jumping back and forth between applications, going out to the browser, so there's really no point in cranking the GPU to full speed when you are not in focus. So what's going to happen here?
Yeah, well, so this is how it works. The software will recognize automatically if it's in focus. If it's in focus, everything will be live, so it will run smooth and everything else. You can work in it. But if you go and select another application, like you go back to, I don't know, like your browser, then as you can see now, the background is, the FPS counter also dropped down, which means now the resources are at low capacity. So now at least for the live software. So this happens automatically. So now ARCHLine Live recognized that it's running in the background, so it does not need that much of resources that it needed before. You can focus on any other applications that you're working in, and when you click back to the application, you tell that I'm willing to work with you. So in that case, the software will automatically give back the resources, and now again the GPU is and all sort of other hardware components are at maximum capacity used, and then you can start working with it. So when you switch back and forth between applications, this sort of automatic power management is in action. You don't have to turn it on or off on your computer.
We need to talk about license management, how you can carry your license with you. More often than not, you would work on more than one computer, so you need to know how to activate and deactivate your license wherever you go. Now, if you open up Live on a computer where you don't have a license activated, you are prompted to this dialog which has three options. The first one is to log in with your username and password, and the second one, register, is when you have the license code with you. The third one is for when you don't have a license and you want to know more about pricing and perhaps buy the license for yourself. Now, I don't really know my 16-digit code, so I'm just going to go with sign in because I do know my credentials. So let's hit that. And if you do that, a browser will open. So now I'm just going to eradicate your credentials.
Yeah, those are mine.
Yes, and instead just going to write in mine.
Yeah, I also cannot
it's,
talk at the same time.
I find it impossible. I can do it with the login. With the password, it's not possible.
Yeah. So you actually type in your credentials, you sign in, and then you will end up with a message like you logged in successfully. Yeah. And then now you can actually close this page, and then you can just go back to the software, and you will see that it is a release version. Mm-hmm. You have purchased the release version, and it's your name as we've registered it in the system. So from now on, you can use your license with the full of the features, and all the functions are available for you.
Once you are done working, and perhaps I want to give the computer back to you and I want to log out, I can just click on my license info and I can just sign out so as to enable you to log in. So,
but if you forgot login out, sign out. Let's just imagine I go to another computer and I forgot my other computer logged in. That's not a problem. Because when you would like to sign in with the same credentials that you are actually logged in with on another computer, there will be a message popping up that you are actually logged in on another computer. Would you like to log out from there and then log in here? And then when you hit yes, then all the same thing will happen. So you will be automatically kind of like kicked out of from the other computer and logged into this one. So that's an automatic process.
Regarding creating animations, there's a neat tool which allows you to incorporate still images into your animations. Let's see how that's done.
Yeah, well, let me show you what we are talking about. It's actually here on this animation tray, which you can turn on and off here. I have created several sections of this large animation, and all I did is I actually added a title screen, this one. So if I go back to the starting point of this animation and I start playing it, this is what I will see. So there's a logo coming in, fading off, and then switching to the next part of the video. So how could you do that? And actually all the rest, as you can see, there is another still image here with a little subtitle there and so on. So these sort of images Those are actually all JPEG or PNG files on my hard drive that I can browse in and add to my timeline wherever I would like to by simply using this tool or the menu of it, or simply clicking anywhere in this timeline onto these, quick add icons, and I can select add a still image. Now, let me show you how this is done. When here, let me just stop that. So when here, if I go back to any part of this animation and I would like to add the same title, which I started this animation with, to the end as well, like a closing shot or something like that, then I can click here to the end of the timeline and I say add a still image. And then I can browse on my computer any sort of JPEG or PNG files that I wanted to add. Now, these are actually created in an image manipulator. You can use Photoshop, you can use GIMP, you can use whatever you would like to. And you can just select that sort of image that you had created previously. You just click on that and hit open, and then the software will give you the opportunity to select the range, the length of this animation. This is the ninth part of the section of this whole animation, because it is added to the end. So I'm happy with this 5-second length. So I go back to the full timeline, so I can see that it starts with the same logo, it ends with the same logo. So if I start playing the animation, it starts with the same way, it switches to the second one, the third one, and so on. So whenever I have a still image there, it will just behave the same as my camera animations did before. So it's this easy how you can actually create a professional series of shots, adding your own titles, adding your own logos, or any sort of description, or whatever you would like to add into your animations. And then when you actually created your animation line, at the end you can just click here and you actually literally generate the video file that you can upload or you can share anyhow with your clients. And for this you actually don't need any sort of video processor or any sort of third-party software to create these. So a professional shot like this is created in literally minutes by simply adding still images.
Or within the software.
Yes.
This summarizes today's session about the latest live features. If you want to know what we discussed during last time, you can check out on our website the list of webinars, and there you can find the previous show, which shows other important and interesting things about the latest live development. If you want to take live to a test drive, you can go up to the website and download a 30-day trial.
Also, if you like this content, please give us a thumbs up. And if you did not do that yet, please subscribe to our channel so you will be informed when any sort of show like this coming up.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.